Today I'm answering that million-dollar question. How do I get discovered on Etsy? That's right, we're talking all things Etsy SEO. SEO, or search engine optimization, is how the Etsy algorithm knows and chooses which listings to actually show to shoppers. You need to know how Etsy SEO works to position your listings for visibility and discoverability. So friend, we're about to make that algorithm work for you. Coming up. Welcome back, friends. So glad you're here. As always, if you're new here, I'm Kate. I'm a wife, a mama to 3 awesome kiddos, an Etsy seller, and a business coach. And I have this channel to help you start and scale your Etsy business to the point of success so that you can spend more time on what's important. I've been on Etsy for 7 years and made it to the top 1% of sellers, and I know from experience what a blessing it's been to be able to stay home with my kids, working and helping provide for my family. So that's what I want to help you do. I want to give you all the tips and strategies that I've learned along the way to help you get there faster. So today my goal is to simplify and explain Etsy SEO for you so that you can understand it, understand the terms that go along with it, and know what you can do and what strategies you can put in place to boost your listings. So without further ado, let's jump in. So the Etsy algorithm works in 2 phases. First is query matching and second is ranking. Now, how well your listings perform in both of these phases all boils down to 2 things: keywords and conversion rate. So today we're going to be focusing mainly on keywords because that's the very first thing you need to really hone in on to get your listings found. So the first phrase, query matching, is when a shopper actually goes on and types in the search bar a certain phrase or keyword that they're looking for, and then Etsy's algorithm will scan through all of the available listings to see if there's any that are a match for that query. Then the second phase comes in, which is ranking. So out of all of those listings that came up as a match, as eligible to be shown, Etsy then ranks them and determines what order they should be shown to that shopper based on relevance. So let's say a potential buyer goes on and types in the phrase engraved wooden spoon. The 2 phases would look like this. Etsy would scan all the listings that are available in all of the shops to look for titles and tags and keywords that match that same phrase, engraved wooden spoon. Then any listing that actually has that keyword phrase somewhere in it will be eligible to be shown to that shopper in the search results. But there may be thousands of listings that actually have that keyword phrase and are eligible. So then Etsy has to rank them and decide which of these are the most relevant for this shopper and which of these listings has the most potential to convert into a sale. Those are the listings that Etsy will rank higher and show first to the buyer. So before we go any further, I want to define some of these terms for you so you know exactly what we're talking about when you hear certain words. So the first one is keywords. Keywords are words or phrases that you choose to represent your product. These will be found in your title, your tags, your categories, and your attributes. Now you may hear people refer to them as long tail keywords or short tail keywords. Short tail keywords are just one individual word that's more broad. So it could be mug or it could be painting. Long tail keywords are a couple of words that make up a phrase and are more specific, like mug for Mother's Day or printable painting. The next term you need to understand is title. Your title is the copy that the buyer sees before they ever click on your photo, and your title needs to be simple, easy to understand, and highlight the most important features about your product. Next is the term tags. Your tags are keyword phrases that are decided by you and entered by you when you create a listing that describe your product. You have 13 available tags, and I highly recommend you use them all. This is different from your title, but they work together, and we'll get more into that in just a bit. All right, next let's define the term categories. So when you create a listing, you'll choose from a drop-down menu what category and subcategories apply to your product. The category and subcategories act as additional tags beyond your just 13 tags that you already entered that Etsy uses to query match. So the category could be something like jewelry or home decor. And then the subcategory would be something like leather jewelry or wreaths that fit into that larger, broader category. Now your attributes are different from your category, but they're also available when you're setting up your listing to input extra details like color or material. Like the categories, these also act as additional tags, which can help you appear in a wider array of search results. So your title, your tags, your categories, and your attributes are the 4 areas that Etsy takes into consideration when looking for keyword phrases. Titles and tags are manual, which means they could be decided creatively by you and you actually enter them yourself, whereas categories and attributes you choose from a pre-selected drop-down menu. Now it's up to you if you want to actually fill these in thoroughly or skip them when you're creating your listing, but I recommend that you fill them in if at all possible, if it's relevant, so that you have more opportunities to be seen. Categories are especially important because some buyers actually shop by navigating categories and using filters as opposed to just typing in the Etsy search bar. So you want to make sure that you have the opportunity to show up in those search results if a buyer goes and navigates to home decor or jewelry or spa products or whatever the category may be. Now, a quick note about attributes is that you don't need to repeat the same exact keyword phrases or words in your tags if they're already selected in your attributes. For instance, if you already chose green in your attributes, you wouldn't want to put green as one of your tags. Since the tags are manual, this is a great opportunity for you to get a little more specific, so you might put something like forest green to really narrow it down. That way you'll be shown in query matching and ranking for both the terms green and forest green. Now I would recommend to never just use a color itself as its own tag because that's going to be way too broad. Even if you just use forest green as a tag, you need to include something about the product with it. So if it was a scarf, you might put forest green scarf instead of just forest green. Okay, so now I'm going to give you 5 tips of things I would recommend you do when determining your keyword phrases. The first tip is to be creative and think like your shopper. The first thing you need to think about is, what would my target customer type in? What are they actually searching for? Then ask yourself questions like, what could this product be used for? Who would use this item? For example, mom's shirt. Who might this be a good gift for? An example of this could be golfer gift. What holiday or occasion could this be used for? An example of this could be first birthday onesie. Is there a certain aesthetic that this applies to? For example, farmhouse or minimal. Think about how you would describe it by size, shape, and material. Quick little sub tip here is that once you've decided on your tags and titles and keyword phrases, you can always update them and change them throughout the year to reflect upcoming holidays or seasons or gifting occasions. So you might have a product that could just be a really good gift in general for several different occasions, so you can change out your titles for Christmas and Mother's Day or whatever occasion apply to it. Now, beyond just thinking creatively and coming up with your own keywords, I do have a resource that I use and love for determining what keywords are trending in my niche, and that is Sales Samurai. You guys have probably heard me talk about Sales Samurai if you've been around for any length of time. If you're interested to know more about how Sales Samurai actually works, you can check out my dedicated video that I'll have linked below on doing Etsy trend research and keyword research on Sales Samurai. I also have another video on SEO, specifically the 7 factors that Etsy takes into account when query matching and ranking. So if you want to know those 7 factors, you can check out this video here, which will also be linked below. All right, we're about to move on to tip number 2, but if you're getting value out of this video, would you do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up? That really helps our channel. And if you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. We put out a weekly video with Etsy strategy and tips, so I would suggest you turn on your notification bell as well so you don't miss any of our new content. All right, moving on to tip number 2, which is to look for patterns in your reviews. You want to look through the feedback that people are leaving you for anything that could be repeating as a pattern. An element of your product that people are really loving and mentioning over and over again can cue you into what might be a good keyword. So for instance, if you have a hoodie that you just see in your reviews over and over again, people are loving how soft it is, that could cue you into a good keyword phrase, which might be soft hoodie. Now, I know how hard it can be to try to be creative and diverse when you're coming up with your keyword phrases and not to be too repetitive. So one thing you can do is to go to the Etsy search bar and start typing in something that has to do with your product and look at what populates in Etsy's predictive phrases that come up. These are phrases that are currently trending on Etsy and can give you some ideas if you just feel stuck. Okay, tip number 4 is to stay in the know about trends. There are 2 main ways that I suggest you do this. Number 1 is to keep up to date with Etsy's Marketplace Insights report, which they come out with every so often, and it's detailed information about what's currently trending and what's currently popular on Etsy. It's really important to know what trends are coming in and what's fading out so that you can stay ahead of the curve and create products that fit those trends right when they peak. Another great way to stay on top of retail trends is to sign up for the Retail Brew newsletter. This is a newsletter that'll come to your inbox 3 times a week. It's free to sign up for, and it's all about what's happening in the retail world. So if you are a retail seller, it's super important to stay in the know by following articles and newsletters like this that can help you stay ahead of the trends. I highly recommend you sign up for Retail Brew. It's free. It literally takes 10 seconds to sign up for, so there's no reason that you shouldn't do it. Once you sign up, they'll send you a confirmation email, so all you'll have to do is click confirm in that email and you'll be ready to go. All right, lastly, I have a little bundle for you of quick tips about your title and tags. You want to make sure if you're using multiple phrases in your title that you separate them with either a comma, a dash, or a line. This helps keep your title look clean and easy to read and not spammy or clunky at all. The more clear and concise your title is, the more it'll catch their attention when they're scrolling through those search results. Now, as far as your tags, you want to make sure you use all 13. Don't leave any blank because using them all will give you more chances for visibility and to be discovered. Also, in both your title and your tags, you always want to opt for phrases of a couple words rather than just using one individual word. Shoppers tend to search in phrases and they don't often just type in one word. So if you're selling ornaments, you might put personalized ornament instead of just ornament. All right, friends, that's all I have for you today. I hope that helps. And like I mentioned before, if you're interested in watching my dedicated video on SEO and the 7 factors that Etsy takes into account when query matching and ranking, I'll link that video right here on the end card. You can click or tap on the square right now and it'll take you over to that video to watch that as well. Bye, friends.